Black people across the country receiving slavery selection plantation texts. Black Americans across the country are reportedly receiving alarming text messages about being selected for slavery amid the 2024 presidential election. According to Fox 2, multiple women in the Detroit area have received messages on Wednesday, November the 6th, saying that they had been selected to pick cotton. Good afternoon, Renee. You have been chosen to pick cotton at your nearest plantation. Be ready at 10 a.m. with all of your personal items and possessions because you will never see them again. Okay. One text message to a Detroit area resident read, "We will pick you up in a white bus. You will be checked for drugs and other substances. Once you make it here, you will be brought to your designated area. You are in Group 10B. A second woman received a similar message from a different number per Fox 2. Greetings, you have been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. Be ready at 12 a.m. November the 13th, sharp, with your belongings. Our executive slaves will come to get you in a brown van. Be prepared to be searched down once you've entered the plantation. You are in Plantation Group D." Both text messages were received the day after the presidential election. Other local outlets across the country have reported similar instances, according to Fox 5 Atlanta. Women in the area received similar messages, including some about a potential threat from white supremacists and Ku Klux Klan members. Several individuals in Virginia have also reportedly received racist messages, according to more reports. Black college students at the University of Alabama and Clemson University in South Carolina have been hit with the messages too. In one message shared on Reddit, a Black American was selected to be a house slave after President Trump takes office. It's unclear who is sending the messages. Some social media users speculated that the messages stemmed from efforts from Russia to divide Americans against one another. Right? See more of the racist messages shared by social media users below. Greetings, Esther. You have been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. Be ready at 6 o'clock sharp with your belongings. Our executive slaves will come and get you in a white van. Be prepared to be searched down once you've entered the plantation. You are in Group T. These text messages were received by Black women today, sent by anonymous numbers, suggesting that they must be ready to be enslaved. The consequences of this election will be rubble. I will not allow Black women to ever again be beneath it. Right now, I'm asking anyone who sees this message and has the resources to please text 3+ friends and show up together to do everything we can to protect Black women. Whatever. Okay. This is what's going on, what I think about that as far as Black women is concerned, right? Let's go get a biblical scripture on that. Black women, right? Right. Okay. I think it's Micah 7. Right. Micah 7 and 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which saith unto me, Where is the Lord thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. Okay. NLT, Micah chapter 7, verse 10. Then my enemies will see that the Lord is on my side. They will be ashamed that they taunted me, saying, Where is the Lord, that God of yours? With mine own eyes I will see their downfall. They will be trampled like mud in the streets. Okay? Right? Micah 7, verse 8. Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord shall be a light unto me. I will bear the indignation of the Lord, because I have sinned against him. Until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me, he will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Right? NLT, Micah 7:9. I will be patient as the Lord punishes me, for I have sinned against him. But after that he will take up my case and give me justice for all I have suffered from my enemies. The Lord will bring me into the light, and I will see his righteousness. Okay? So, it doesn't matter. The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to trodden down the women of Israel as the mire of the streets. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 3. Right. Verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, which lead thee cause thee to err and to destroy the way of thy paths. Right? Okay. Isaiah 3:12 NLT. Childish leaders oppress my people, and women rule over them. O my people, your leaders mislead you. They send you down the wrong road. See? So, whenever you get done, the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, this is the reason why he's going to punish them and trod them underfoot. Isaiah 3 verse 16. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go. Mincing means they switch their hips like they all that, right? And making a tingling with their feet, right? Because women back in the day used to wear bracelets and gold earrings around their feet, around their ankles. Therefore the Lord will smite a scab with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, which are the so-called black women, Latino women, Native American women. Right? And the Lord will discover their secret parts. In that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their cauls, and their round tires like the moon. The round tires mean their buttocks, that all of the women are trying to get butt enhancements, right? The chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs and of the headbands and of the tablets and the earrings, the rings and nose jewels. Now, you know women love to wear earrings and nose jewels, right? Put a piece of jewelry in their nose. The changeable suits of apparel, so women won't be able to change their clothes like they do 2 or 3 times a day just because they can. And the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, right? The little pins they put in their hair, you know, those rubber bands hold their hair in place. The glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle a rent, instead of well set hair baldness, and instead of a stomacher a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. See? Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she shall be desolate, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. See? So the Most High is judging the people of the earth. Okay? But he's first going to start with the house of Israel, like it says in Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, who was he? Right? The man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side, which would be Yahweh Shai. And the Lord, the Most High, the Father, Yahweh, said unto him, go through the midst of the city. Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men. God damn it. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Right? And to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, which is the mark of exemption. And the mark of exemption is knowing the name of the Father and of the Son, as it is written in Proverbs chapter 30, verse 4. Who hath ascended up into heaven, or descended? Or who hath gathered the wind in his fists? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? Every word of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. See? So, it's coming down the wire, man. A lot of our people they don't get it. Right? Ezekiel 9 and 6 again. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. But come not any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began with the ancient men that were before the house. Right? And he said unto them, defile the house, and fill the courts with the slain. Go ye forth. And they went forth and slew in the city. So there's pretty much nothing that we can do. This is a judgment from the Most High God in heaven. But me personally, I think that's Kamala Harris's way of coming out, going out with a bang to try to put fear in the hearts of the women, which would in turn put fear in the hearts of the men of the house of Zion, of the house of Jerusalem, of the house of Israel. That consists of Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's what I believe. I think she did it deliberately and on purpose. But then it's also possible that, these Ku Klux Klan members and these lunatics, by any means necessary, are doing everything that they can to try to push as much fear as they can. Because you have to stop and think about it. If you go to pull up, let's go to the basis of all of this madness, right? Okay, where was I at? I was at okay, not polycrisis, but that's right, Project 2025, right? Okay, let's put Wikipedia, right? Project 2025, right? This is what they're trying to do. It's all broken down in pieces. Okay? Alright, so let me see if I can find it. Wikipedia. There it is, big as shit. Project 2025. Project 2025, also known as the 2025 Presidential Transition Project, is a political initiative published by the American conservative think tank, the Heritage Foundation, in 2023. The project aims to promote conservative and right-wing policies to reshape the federal government of the United States and to consolidate executive power after Donald Trump is inaugurated into office following the 2024 presidential election. Okay? Project 2025 is the 9th iteration of the Mandate for Leadership series published since 1981. The project asserts a controversial interpretation of the unitary executive theory, according to which the entire executive branch is under the complete control of the U.S. President. It proposes reclassifying tens of thousands of federal civil service workers as political appointees in order to replace them with people loyal to the President. Proponents of the project argue that it would dismantle what they view as a vast, unaccountable, and mostly liberal governmental bureaucracy. Okay, what is a governmental bureaucracy? Let's find out. Bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is a system of organization where decisions are made by a body of non-elected officials. Well, shit, you got that now with the World Economic Forum, World Health Organization. They're non-elected officials, right? Let's see, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberger Group, the Knights of Malta, the Club of Rome. You see what I'm saying? So these are all non-elected officials as well. Historically, a bureaucracy is a government administration managed by departments staffed with non-elected officials, right? Today, bureaucracy is the administrative system governing any large institution, whether publicly owned or privately owned. The public administration in many jurisdictions is an example of bureaucracy, as is any centralized hierarchical structure of an institution, including corporations, societies, nonprofit organizations, and clubs. I just went over all of them, didn't I? There are two key dilemmas in bureaucracy. The first dilemma revolves around whether bureaucrats should be autonomous or directly accountable to their political masters. The second dilemma revolves around bureaucrats' responsibility to follow preset rules and what degree of latitude that they may have to determine appropriate solutions for circumstances that are unaccounted for in advance. Okay? So there you go. Now, let's go back to where we were at. Okay, so now you know what a governmental bureaucracy is. The project also seeks to infuse the government with society with conservative Christian values. Critics have characterized Project 2025 as an authoritarian Christian nationalist plan to steer the U.S. toward autocracy. Okay, let's go to autocracy, since they want to send the world towards autocracy. Let's get it. Autocracy, right? Autocracy is a system of government in which absolute power is held by the ruler, known as an autocrat. It includes some forms of monarchy and all forms of dictatorship, while it is contrasted with democracy and feudalism. Various definitions of autocracy exist. They may restrict autocracy to cases where power is held by a single individual, or they may define autocracy in a way that includes a group of rulers who wield absolute power. The autocrat has total control over the exercise of civil liberties within the autocracy, choosing under what circumstances they may be exercised, if at all. Governments may also blend elements of autocracy and democracy, forming an anocracy. What is this anocracy? Anocracy or semi-democracy is a form of government that is loosely defined as part of democracy and part dictatorship, or as a regime that mixes democratic and autocratic features. Other definition reclassifies anocracy as a regime that permits some means of participation through oppositional groups' behavior, but that has incomplete development of mechanisms to redress grievances. The term semi-democratic is reserved for stable regimes that combine democratic and authoritarian elements. Authoritarianism. Authoritarianism is a political system characterized by the rejection of political plurality, the use of strong central power to preserve the political status quo, and reductions in democracy, separation of powers, civil liberties, and the rule of law. Political scientists have created many typologies describing variations of authoritarianism, authoritarian forms of government. Authoritarian regimes may be either autocratic or oligarchic, and may be based upon the rule of a party or the military. States that have blurred boundary between democracy and authoritarianism have sometimes been characterized as hybrid democracies, hybrid regimes, or competitive authoritarian states. Okay? So now we know what authoritarianism, whatever. I can't get my tongue around it, okay? Sorry. Scholars distinguish anocracies from autocracies and democracies in their capability to maintain authority, political dynamics, and policy agendas. Anocratic regimes have democratic institutions which allow for nominal amounts of competition. Such regimes are particularly susceptible to outbreaks of armed conflict, and unexpected or adverse changes in leadership. The operational definition of anocracy is extensively used by scholars. Monty G. blah 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 blah. Center for Systemic Peace. blah, blah, blah. Okay. Autocratic regimes, also known as hybrid regimes, are also known for having guided democracy instead of liberal democracy. They combine authoritarian powers with some democratic practices, for example, holding elections that are competitive to some degree. In a closed anocracy, competitors are drawn from the elite. In an open anocracy, others also compete. The number of autocratic regimes has steadily increased over time, with the most notable jump occurring after the end of the Cold War, from 1989 to 2013. The number of anocracies increased from 30 to 53. All right, characteristics, human rights. The instability of autocratic regimes causes human rights violations to be significantly higher within autocracies than democratic regimes. Okay? So, human rights violations are going to go up in Project 2025. Now, human rights violations is about genocide of what's going on in the Israeli area concerning Gaza, the Strip, Lebanon, and Iran. Okay? Human rights violations, where these people are being exterminated at will, men, women, young, and old. Okay? So they're going to practice on here. They're doing it right now in using the Israeli. Oh my God, man. Okay. And the Israeli are doing the same thing right now. Okay. Now, let's go here. According to Maplecroft's 2014 Human Rights Risk Atlas, 8 of the 10 top worst human rights violating countries are autocracies. In addition, the report categorized every current autocracy as at risk or at extreme risk of human rights offenses. The correlation between autocratic regimes and human rights abuses denotes the nonlinear progression in a country's transition from an autocracy to a democracy. Generally, human rights violations substantially decrease when a certain threshold of full democracy is reached. However, human rights abuses tend to remain the same, even to increase as countries move from an autocratic to an anocratic regime. Right? So, and it gives you some different examples of high levels of human rights abuses. Right? So now you know what an anocracy is. Okay. Now let's get back to where we were reading. Okay, where was I at? Autocracy is a system of government in which absolute power is held by the ruler, known as an autocrat. Okay, so they want to make Donald Trump an autocrat, right? Okay, absolute power held by one person, right? It includes some forms of monarchy. Okay, let's get monarchy. Okay, monarchy is a form of government in which a person, the monarch, reigns as head of state for life or until abdication. In other words, until he either dies or he abdicates the throne, he decides to quit. In other words, the extent of the authority of the monarch may vary from restricted and largely symbolic constitutional monarchy to fully autocratic absolute monarchy, and may have representational, executive, legislative, and judicial functions. The succession of monarchs has mostly been hereditary, right? Father to son, much like the czars of Russia, right? Often building dynasties. However, monarchies can also be elective and self-proclaimed. A dynasty or a monarchy is like what's going on in North Korea as far as the leadership there, for example. The leadership in the European nations concerning Queen Elizabeth and her son or nephew or whoever the fuck it is, Prince Charles, which is now King Charles, right? That's a dynasty. That's a monarchy, right? Absolute monarchy and constitutional monarchy. Representational, executive, legislative, and judicial functions, right? Okay. However, monarchies can also be elective and self-proclaimed, right? Is not King Charles self-proclaimed, right? Aristocrats, though not inherent to monarchies, often function as the pool of persons from which the monarch is chosen and to fill the constituting institutions, giving many monarchies oligarchic elements. The political legitimacy of the inherited, elected, or proclaimed monarchy has most often been based on claims of representation of people in land through some form of relation or kinship, and divine right or other achieved status. Okay, monarchs can carry various titles such as emperor, empress, king, queen. Monarchies can form federations, personal unions, and realms with vassals through personal association with the monarch, which is a common reason for monarchs carry several titles. Right? So we all know about that. See, look at that. King Charles III as their head of state. Okay, see what I'm saying? A parliamentary republic. This is what they want for Project 2025. Okay, that's what they want, man. They ain't gonna stop till they get it. Okay. Project 2025 envisions sweeping changes to economic and social policies in federal government and its agencies. The plan proposes taking partisan control of the Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, DOJ, the Department of Commerce, the Federal Communications Commission, and Federal Trade Commissions, dismantling the Department of Homeland Security and abolishing the Department of Education, whose programs would be transferred or terminated. It calls for making the National Institutes of Health, the NIH, less independent, stopping it from funding research with embryonic stem cells, and reducing environmental and climate change regulations to favor fossil fuels. So that's the end of climate change, right? Okay, and the beginning of fracking, right? And digging into mountains for coal, right? Lithium, copper, tin, right? Fossil fuels. The blueprint seeks to institute tax cuts, but its writers disagree on protectionism. Uh-oh. What's protectionism? Protectionism, sometimes referred to as trade protectionism, is the economic policy of restricting imports from other countries through methods such as tariffs on imported goods, import quotas, and a variety of other government regulations. Proponents argue that protectionist policies shield the producers, businesses, and workers of the import competing sector in the country from foreign competitors and raise government revenue. Opponents argue that protectionist policies reduce trade and adversely affect consumers in general by raising the cost of imported goods. Inflation, hyperinflation, okay? As well as the producers and workers in export sectors, both in the country implementing protectionist policies and in the countries against which the protections were implemented, right? Remember the tariffs, right? Protectionism has been advocated mainly by parties that hold economic nationalist positions, while economically liberal political parties generally support free trade, right? Okay. Free trade shop, everybody's in there. Free trade and then protection, right? See that? Published by the Liberal Publication Department. And who is more liberal than the Democratic Party, right? Okay. There is a consensus among economists that protectionism has a negative effect on economic growth and economic welfare, while free trade and the reduction of trade barriers have a significantly positive effect on economic growth. Okay? See? Look on this picture and on that. Tariff reform, good wages, plenty to eat. The union, right? Tariff reform, right? Free trade, unemployment, and misery. See? So, anyway, we know what protectionism is now, don't we? The project seeks to cut Medicare and Medicaid and urges the government to explicitly reject abortion as health care. It seeks to eliminate coverage of emergency contraception and use the Comstock Act to prosecute those who send and receive contraceptives and abortion pills. So if your daughter gets raped by some weird fucking pervert, okay, or whatever have you, they have to keep the baby. Right? Okay. Now, where was I at? It proposes criminalizing pornography and imprisoning those who produce it, removing legal protections against discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Right? Removing legal protections against discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Removing legal protections, right? And terminating diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, while having the Department of Justice prosecute anti-white racism instead. Okay, let's go to that. Reverse racism, sometimes referred to as a reverse discrimination, is the concept that affirmative action and similar color-conscious programs for redressing racial inequality are forms of anti-white racism. The concept is often associated with conservatives' social movements and reflects a belief that social and economic gains by black people and other people of color cause disadvantages for white people. Belief in reverse racism is widespread in the United States. However, there is little to no empirical evidence that white Americans as a group are disadvantaged. Okay? There's no proof. They're saying that they're disadvantaged because they have white privilege and white supremacy, right? Fighting in their favor. Racial and ethnic minorities generally lack the power to damage the interests of whites, who remain the dominant group in the U.S. Claims of reverse racism tend to ignore such disparities in the exercise of power and authority, which most scholars argue constitute an essential component of racism. Allegations of reverse racism by opponents of affirmative action began to emerge in the 1970s and have formed part of a racial backlash against social gains of people of color. While the U.S. dominates the debate over the issue, the concept of reverse racism has been used internationally to some extent wherever white supremacy has diminished, such as in post-apartheid South Africa. Okay? So now you know anti-white racism, right? The project recommends the arrest, detention, and mass deportation of illegal immigrants living in the United States. Donald Trump wants to deport 11 million immigrants in the United States in his first 30 days as president after he's inaugurated. Okay? It proposes deploying the military for domestic law enforcement. Right? That does away with the Posse Comitatus Act, doesn't it? Okay? All right, let's go to, if I can get to it without closing this window, let's go to another window. Okay, let's go to Posse Comitatus Act, right? Posse Comitatus, right? Posse Comitatus Act. The Posse Comitatus Act is a United States federal law signed on June 18, 1878 by President Rutherford B. Hayes that limits the powers of the federal government in the use of federal military personnel to enforce domestic policies within the United States. What is the meaning of Posse Comitatus? Right? The Posse Comitatus from the Latin for power of the country, of the county, frequently shortened to posse, is in common law a group of people mobilized to suppress lawlessness, defend the people, or otherwise protect the place, property, and public welfare. Okay? Alrighty. Now let's go back over here. Where's it at? I just had it. Man, what happened? Oh, wow. Damn, did I close the window? How the fuck did I close the window? Okay, let's go here then. Wikipedia. What the fuck, man? How did I close the thing? I didn't do that. I didn't think I did. Oh man. Okay. Project 2025 Wikipedia. Let's go back down here where I was at. Okay, hold on. Where was we at? Here we go. It proposes deploying the military for domestic law enforcement. All right. It promotes capital punishment and the speedy finality of those sentences. Capital punishment. Let's get it. Capital punishment in the United States. In the United States, capital punishment, also known as the death penalty, is a legal penalty in 27 states throughout the country at the federal level and in American Samoa. It is also a legal penalty for some military offenses. Capital punishment has been abolished in 23 states and in the federal capital, Washington, D.C. It is usually applied for only the most serious crimes, such as an aggravated murder, right? Although it is a legal penalty in 27 states, 19 of them have authority to execute death sentences, with the other 8, as well as the federal government and military, subject to moratoriums, right? Okay, capital punishment. Let's get down, see if we can get down to the nitty-gritty of what it, okay. It's execution. Okay. People sentenced to death. The Trump administration's Department of Justice announced its plans to resume executions for federal crimes in 2019. On July 14, 2020, Daniel Lewis Lee became the first inmate executed by the federal government since 2003. 13 federal death row inmates were executed, all under Trump. The last and most recent federal execution was of Dustin Higgs, who was executed on January 16, 2021. On July 1, 2021, Attorney General Merrick Garland announced that a moratorium on the federal death penalty was being reinstated. As of March 2024, there were 42 inmates on federal death row. Okay? Okay. Listen to this. The first recorded death sentence in the British North American colonies was carried out in 1608 on Captain George Kendall, who was executed by firing squad. Executions in colonial America were also carried out by hanging. Okay? Okay. So, yeah. This is capital punishment in America, right? Hold on. Where was we at? It promotes capital punishment and the speedy finality of those sentences. It hopes to undo almost everything implemented by the Biden administration. Although Project 2025 cannot legally promote a presidential candidate without endangering its 501c3 tax-exempt status, many contributors are associated with Trump and his 2024 presidential election. Let's go into 501c3 tax exemption. The 501c3 organization. A 501c3 organization is a United States corporation, trust, unincorporated association, or other type of organization exempt from federal income tax under Section 501c3 of Title 26 of the United States Code. It is one of the 29 types of 501c nonprofit organizations in the U.S. The 501c3 tax exemptions apply to entities that are organized and operated exclusively for religious, charitable, scientific, literary, or educational purposes, for testing, for public safety, to foster national or international amateur sports competition, or for the prevention of cruelty to children or animals. 501c3 exemption applies also for any non-corporated community chest fund, cooperating association, or foundation organized and operated exclusively for those purposes. There are also supporting organizations, often referred to in shorthand form as friends of organizations. Okay? It provides a deduction for federal income tax purposes for some donors who make charitable contributions to most types of 501c3 organizations, among others. Regulations specify which such deductions must be verifiable to be allowed, e.g., receipts for donations of $250 or more. Due to the tax deductions associated with the donations, loss of 501c3 status can be highly challenging, if not fatal, to a charity's continued operation, as many foundations and corporate matching funds do not grant funds to a charity without such status, and individual donors often do not donate to such a charity due to the unavailability of tax deduction or contributions. Okay? And then it tells you how to obtain it. So this is how, what's his name? Bishop Nate of IUIC did it. Okay? So now you know what a 501c3 tax exemption can do. Alrighty? Tax exempt status. Many contributors are associated with Trump and his 2024 presidential campaign. The Heritage Foundation employs many people closely aligned with Trump, including members of his 2017-2021 administration, and coordinates the initiative with conservative groups run by Trump allies. Some Trump campaign officials have had regular contact with Project 2025 and told Politico in 2023 that the project aligned well with their Agenda 47 program, though they have since said that it does not speak for Trump or his campaign. The project's controversial proposals led Trump and his campaign to distance themselves from it in 2024. Trump said he knew nothing about it and that some of the things Project 2025 says are absolutely ridiculous and abysmal. The project's president, Kevin Roberts, said in response that no one at Project 2025 has hard feelings for Trump because they know he's making a political, tactical decision there. Critics have dismissed Trump's claims, pointing to various the various people close to Trump who helped draft the project. Many contributors who are expected to be appointed to leadership roles in a future Trump administration, his endorsement of the Heritage Foundation's plans for his administration in 2022, and the 300 times Trump himself is mentioned in the plans. Okay? Now, you know all about Project 2025 and all of the different wording in it, right? They want to undermine rule of law, separation of powers, and the separation of church and state and civil liberties. In other words, they wanted to amalgamate church and state, power and the rule of law, and civil liberties all under one person. The Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Commerce, Federal Communications Commission, Federal Trade Commission, Department of Homeland Security, and abolishing the Department of Education, so the kids won't even be able to go to school anymore. You have to educate the children yourself. But then, if your education is limited, what can you educate them with? Slavery, indentured servitude, see? Whose programs would be transferred or terminated, right? See? So, there's really nothing we can do now. The monkey's in there. Let's go into the, UN agenda. Well, as a matter of fact, I won't even do that. This is what I'll do. Okay. I was trying to prove something earlier. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to do this. Alrighty. Now where was we at? Let's go to the United. Was it top, I think? No. That's it. Alright, hold on. Okay. Let's go to here at the bottom. See if I can find the United Nations agenda. Okay? Because I think you people need to understand what the fuck's really going on. Because these devils, they don't give a shit about you. And you need to understand who you're up against. Okay? Let's see if I can find it. Should be here. I should be coming up on it pretty soon here. Hold on. I think did I pass it? No. Hold on. Okay, let's see. CBDCs. Right. Right. You saw that. I know you did. Such and such not welcome. Right. Hold on. Okay. Trying to find it. Okay. Hold on. I know it's in here. Right. Hold on. We are on the verge of a global transformation. You know who that is? That's David Rockefeller. He eats babies and drink blood. He's dead now, but they probably transferred his entire head onto a different body. This is the wickedness of these goddamn animals. We are on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis, and the nations will accept the new world order. Okay? That's what the fuck they're out to do, man. Okay. Now, let's see. Cashless society. That's what they're out to do. Let me see. I'm trying to find it. I know it's in here. Right? You know, you heard Donald Trump was talking about the prophets, right? The prophets of the Bible were not celebrities, but outcast and unpopular. Right? Okay. Let me see if I can find that. I know it's in here. I had it. Hold on, man. I know it's in here. I know I had it. United Nations agenda. Okay. We did not elect you. You don't own us. Really? Try telling them that. Okay. Okay, hold on. Oh, y'all want to see that? I don't know. Masses be like, it's just a conspiracy theory. See that? Yeah. You got Rome, you got Babylon, you got Rome, Babylon, you got all this. I mean, come on, man. I'm trying to find the United Nations Agenda 2030. I know I had it. I took a picture of it. I'm apologizing. I apologize about it not being readily available. Okay. Shit. I know I had it. It's in here. There it is. Boom. Okay. The New World Order UN agenda, right? One world government, end of nations, one world army, one world police force, end of the family unit, one world central bank, one world cashless currency, end of all private property, world depopulation and fertility control, end of home and car ownership, mandatory multiple such and such yearly, okay? Universal austerity income, universal basic income, right? That's the bribe to force you to take the digital cashless currency, CBDCs, okay? Social media digital ID, you have to have a biometric digital identification microprocessor for health, shopping, and travel in order to access social media, okay? Implementation of Chinese social credit system, government-raised children. Is this not Project 2025? It's the same mission goal. See? All businesses run by the state. End of all non-essential air travel. Okay? Humans concentrated into 15-minute cities. End of private farms and vegetable gardens. End of animal ownership. Ban on all natural medicine. AI courts and end of individual rights. Limited access to wild spaces. End of fossil fuels and modern conveniences. Okay? Okay. Now, let's go back to, what was it? Project 25. What did it say about fossil fuels? Let's go back down here and see if we can find that. Okay. Yeah, because it says something. There it is. It calls for making the National Institutes of Health less independent, stopping it from funding research with embryonic stem cells, reducing environmental and climate change regulations to favor fossil fuels. Now, Project 2030 says the end of fossil fuels. How is that going to work? Everything's electric. They need lithium batteries. That's the reason why they weaponized the weather in order to drown out the North Carolina area, so this way could they dig for lithium and buy the land for dirt cheap. Come on now. These people ain't playing. They don't give a shit. It envisions sweeping changes to economical and social policies in the federal government and its agencies. Okay, so this sweeping is going to be a great sweep. Okay. Right? Daniel, let's get it. Hold on, where was we at? Oh, went too far, right? There it is. Now, let's go to Daniel. Almost got an hour. Better close it up. Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. Right? Okay. Okay, let's start with 23. Daniel chapter 8, verse 23. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, right? A king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. Okay? In other words, NLT says, at the end of their rule, when their sin is at its height, a fierce king, a master of intrigue, will rise to power. Okay? He will become very strong, but not by his own power. He will cause a shocking amount of destruction and succeed in everything he does. He will destroy powerful leaders and devastate the holy people. Right? He will be a master of deception and will become arrogant. He will destroy many without warning. He will even take on the prince of princes in battle, but he will be broken, though not by human power. Okay? See? Daniel chapter 8, KJV, verse 24. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. Right? And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper in practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Okay? So we know the vision. We know the destruction of this devil, right? So he's pretty much fucked. Completely finished. He doesn't even know it. He can't even see it, right? Okay. Right? Daniel chapter 7, verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. How are they going to take the kingdom? Let's go to Zechariah chapter 12, verse 6. In that day will I make the governors of Judah, right, the 144,000, the elect of the house of Israel that stand on street corners risking their freedom and their lives to tell you the truth to your face. In that day will I make the governors of Judah, the prophets, like an heart of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf. And they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left. Right? So that takes care of the left hand and the right hand of the same bird, the democratic eagle. Right? Okay? And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. See? So, us revealing, lifting the covering cast over all people and the veil that is spread over all nations, the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has given us the Rahabra Kodash, which is the Holy Spirit, and allowed us to pierce through the veil of the wickedness of these devils and be able to find out exactly what they're up to and to tell you to your face in plain language what they're planning. So this way you'll be able to make a conscious decision to repent and be converted. Right? Verse 7, Zechariah chapter 12, verse 7. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. In that day, and my point, shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as the Most High, as the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. Right? Let's go to Jeremiah 51. Right? Verse 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. Who are they? Israel, the rod of his inheritance. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy the kingdoms, and with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider, and with thee also will I break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. Okay, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 25, right? Verse 12. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it. And I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. Right? Teman, those with technology, and they of Dedan, the lowercase white man that abuses technology, right, shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom, my point, by the hand of my people Israel. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord. See? You can also go to Revelation if you like. Chapter 7, if you like. Right? And tells you about the 144,000. See? And I heard the number of them that were sealed. These are the governors, the righteous men that stand on street corners telling you to your face, risking their lives and their freedom. Right? Which were sealed, and 144,000. What were they sealed by? The mark of exemption, found in Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Okay? There you go. Right? These are the individuals that were sealed. They said the Most High had the angels set a mark in their forehead. And that mark of exemption is the name of the Most High and his Son. Right? And I heard how many were marked with the seal of God. 144,000 were sealed from all the tribes of Israel. 12,000 from Judah, 12,000 from Reuben, 12,000 from Gad, from Asher, from Naphtali, from Manasseh, Simeon, Levi, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and Benjamin. See? So all of these individuals have the mark of exemption to be saved here in these last days. And these are the elect 1/3 of the house of Israel, not all nations. And after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, which stood before the throne and before... What? Go back. And before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Okay, let's get it. Okay. Right. Kindreds.
Strong's G 2532. Kai. Kai.
Hold on. No, I think that was, I didn't push the right one. Fule. That's what I was after.
Strong's G 5443. Fule. Fule.
A tribe. In the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. A nation, a people. Okay? Fule. An offshoot. Race. Clan. Kindred. Right? A tribe. All the persons descended from the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. Okay? So, it's selective. It's not all nations like you thought. See? You have to remember that our people were scattered, Salakia, amongst all nations upon the face of the earth. Let me give you an example. Let's go to, where was I at? John chapter 7. Okay, my favorite. Right? Then said the Jews amongst themselves, whither will he go, that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Let's go find out who this dispersed. Okay. Right? Diaspora. Let's see.
Strong's G 1290. Diaspora. Diaspora.
A scattering, a dispersion of Israelites dispersed among foreign nations. Okay? And, you know, of course, B, of Christians, these so-called Christians are those that believe on the name of Yahweh and on the name of Yahweh Shai. Not Yah and Yahweh and Yahusha and Yahushua. No. Those are mistransliterations of the actual name. Dispersed, scattered, abroad. Diaspora, dispersion, i.e., especially and concretely, the converted Israelite resident in Gentile countries, which are scattered abroad. Okay? Okay. And after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations, kindreds, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Let's go get more proof of that. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. Okay? The remnant restored. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people. The reason why he set his hand again, because they are of the olive branch that were broken off. They were broken off, living as Israelite foreigners in foreign nations scattered abroad. Okay? But they can be grafted back into the olive branch. The olive tree is Jerusalem. They could be grafted back in. The Most High will accept them back. Right? Let's get more proof of that. Let's go to, where was I at? Ecclesiasticus. I think it's Ecclesiasticus. Oh, I'm trying to remember now. Oh, it was right there. Oh, wow, I was going to take it all apart. Oh, well, let's go to Baruch then. Baruch chapter 2. Oh my God, here we go, man. No, I don't want to. Right. Verse 29, Baruch chapter 2, verse 29. If ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, where I will scatter them. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves. and shall know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, their power, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck, and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord. Who are their fathers? Let's continue reading. Verse 34. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. Okay? There you go. Big as shit. Okay? So, yeah. These devils ain't finna get out of this punishment they got coming. Ain't no way. Okay? Clothed with white robes with palms in their hands. This kindred peoples and tongues and nations. Right? Now, let's go over here to Isaiah chapter 11, right? Verse 11, right? Oh my God, come on, man. Close, thank you. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Says the same thing in Matthew, right? Chapter 24, verse 31, right? And he, being Yahushua HaMashiach, the Son of Man, shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Okay? So, there's no way out of this thing. All nations cannot be saved. The only people that are getting the fuck out of here are the children of Israel, whom the Most High chose from the foundation of the earth. Let's go get exactly who they are. The remnant, right? Let's go get Isaiah chapter 10, verse 20. Salakia. Okay, I don't know what the hell's going on with this madness, okay? Isaiah chapter 10, verse 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power, the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness. For the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, of hosts, right, Shartazabawath, shall make a consumption even determined in the midst of the land. What consumption? Zechariah chapter 13. No, not Zephaniah, Zechariah. Salakia. I pushed it, fat-fingered it, I guess. Zechariah 13, verse 8. This is... Oh my God, man. Really?
What is wrong with you? My daughter works her ass off to keep this...
The fuck, man? Skip video, because she's trying to seduce the poor man. Okay, right away. My daughter does this until that. You need to get up. Right? Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd part shall be left therein. That is the consumption decreed in all the land. That 2 parts of Israel shall be cut off and be destroyed because of their continued disobedience and the stiff-necked hard-headedness of doing what they want to do. And I will bring the 3rd part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is my power. Right? So, that's that. So, the women are going to be trodden down underfoot for being hard-headed and stiff-necked. Okay, let's go get some more on the wickedness of the women, right? Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter, what did I put in there, 47? Let's go back. Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, I think it is. I just put
Okay, we usually don't do this.
Man, come on, man. See what I mean? This is what the fuck I mean, man. You can't do nothing. I don't care about nothing you gotta say, man. Shut up. That's the reason why you're gonna be destroyed. Anyway. Right? Here it is. Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, verse 22. An harlot shall be accounted as spittle, but a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. Okay? Okay, now let's go back to Ecclesiasticus 25. That's what I meant to go get. Right, sorry, Salakia. Okay. The wickedness of a woman changeth her face and darkeneth her countenance like a sackcloth. She'll tear her face up and you ask her to do something for you. Verse 18, her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, he shall sigh bitterly. Right? Whining in the background. Could you come and do this? Could you come and do that? And call him by his name. Oh no, here we go. Damn, what she want now, right? Verse 19, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Okay. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. Right? Of the woman became the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. See? So, the man was not the first, but the woman was the first in the transgression. Let's type that in. First in transgression. Boom. Right. Hebrews. No, Micah. No, that's not either. That's not either. Either. Oh, man, let me see if I can find. I can't remember what biblical passage it is. Okay, still send me there. Okay. All right, hold on. Let me just do it that way. Yeah, there it is. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 14. Right? And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Right? So it's the woman that was deceived. So she was the first to transgress against the oral law of the Most High God, that man, Adam and Eve, should not go into the midst of the Garden of Eden to eat from the tree in the midst of the garden of the tree of good and of evil, of the knowledge of good and evil, right? And it's not an actual tree, actually. It's a tree of knowing, being able to discern the difference between right and wrong, okay? And they were without this ability. You know, it was a test to see if they could discern the difference between right and wrong, to see if they would choose righteousness and obey God's word. That's all it was about. The woman was the first to transgress because she, being deceived by Satan, being lied to, disobeyed the Most High. And Adam, listening to the sophistry of the woman, fell down too. And that's the reason why through the woman we all die. You know? That's the reason why the woman's supposed to keep her mouth shut. But she ain't gonna do it. Okay? Listen to this. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. In like manner also the women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety. Are these women today in today's society shamefaced with sobriety? No, they're all wearing yoga pants, showing off all of the different curves and the fucking what do you call it? Camel toe, the booty, panty lines, wearing their hair out, showing their cleavage. Is that shamefaced? No. And sobriety. Shit, they on drugs most of the time. Not with broidered hair or gold or pearls, costly array. See that shit all the time. Makeup, you know. But that which becometh women professing godliness with good works. None of them have good works. Let the women learn in silence with all subjection. They think they know every goddamn thing. They're not going to learn in silence. They're going to run their mouth. Right? But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Right? And you can't get a woman to shut her mouth for shit because she knows everything, right? Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity with holiness and sobriety, which they ain't going to do. So the women are going to be trodden underfoot, right? Like it says in Micah chapter 7, right? So anyway, let me get off this video. Kol halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Right. Shalom. Okay. What did she say? Hold on. Let's go back. Hold on. Let's go back.
No. Black love. Ooh. Real close. I know some people who know some people who knows some people that work in one of the area's police departments. And this alert is being shared amongst police officers across the local area. Okay? Last night, a deputy told family that local white supremacist KKK members originating out of Lexington, North Carolina, are planning to attack from now until Inauguration Day. They are plotting against black people, especially black women, because in their eyes, we are easy targets. Please be vigilant. Try not to do anything alone, especially after dark. This is not a hoax or a rumor. The deputy showed paperwork that the police department has. In their words, they're taking their country back. It's really scary, and please take what I am telling you seriously.
So I just got word that white supremacists in Georgia and South Carolina are making a decision. And allegedly this is coming from the police in Georgia. They're warning the public that white supremacists are promising to go around and harm as many black women as they can between now and Inauguration Day. These allegations are also alleging that these officers are warning the public that they chose black women because they claim that black women are the easiest targets. So we need all black women across the country, because you know these people stay in contact, stay in touch with each other, and they are